Good evening. I now call to order the January 27th, 2025 meeting of the East Bend School District Board of School Directors. We now all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce again our EHS SGA representatives to give their report. I'd like to introduce Ms. Kaler and Ms. Howard.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Lexi and I are happy to be back this week to discuss some recent events at Emmaus. First, for winter sports, boys basketball ended their postseason hopes in a 4-15 in a tough loss against Allen last week. Girls basketball is 18-1 and currently holds the number 1 spot in District 11. Cheerleading wrapped up their regular season competitions this weekend and are headed to nationals next month. Swimming and diving have a record of 13-4, and the girls are currently 11-5. Boys wrestling is currently 12-3, and the girls wrestling placed 6th at this weekend's EPC tournament. Congratulations and good luck to all the athletes competing in winter sports this season. SGA is currently running our yearly Spread the Love campaign, where members are grouped to collaborate and spread charitable deeds in our community. Also, our Winter Dance Snow Co. will occur on February 22nd. We are preparing to hold ticket sales from February 5th to February 20th.
Along with SGA and sports, we ended our first marking period with a series of 2-hour delays due to weather. Now we welcome in the second semester. There will be a half day on Wednesday, January 29th, during which high school students will be dismissed at 11. For sophomores and juniors thinking about becoming a teacher, the EHS Field Study Program has partnered with Kutztown University and is offering an opportunity to take college-level classes at KU for college credit. There will be an informal meeting in the MMR on February 25th for students who are interested in the program for the 2025-26 school year. For sophomores and juniors interested in the EHS Field Study Program for the 2025-26 school year, they should be sure to attend 2 informational sessions on either February 10th or 18th in the MMR. On another note, it is time to order the 2025 yearbook. There's a limited supply, and students are able to order theirs through balfour.com. For freshmen who are interested in taking the lifeguarding course instead of their aquatics for sophomore year, there are 2 pre-test sessions left, one on January 31st and one on February 5th. There will be spots available for the Spain and Portugal trip in 2026, as well as the Iceland trip in June 2025, which is enrolling now through January 30th. Many LCTI students were recognized for their performance at the District Skills USA competition for their corresponding program. Congratulations to all who competed and are moving on to states. In regards to clubs, Interact Club is hosting a book drive to collect new and used books for the Allentown School District students from now until January 31st, as well as they're collecting soda tabs for the Ronald McDonald House. In regards to the Shave for the Brave, Emmaus earned an impressive ranking in the Baldrix events in 2024, reflecting the hard work that was put in by all involved in Shave for the Brave to help raise money for the children with cancer. The National History Day Club participants' projects were due earlier this month. Congratulations to all students who are moving on to regionals this March. And the EHS Red Cross Club was promoting the Miller Keystone Donation Centers, and students are able to prove they donated blood to Mr. Montepeque's room and earn a bag of candy or a t-shirt. Finally, as a part of the School Board Appreciation Month, I am grateful to be able to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone here on the school board for your hard work, support, and dedication on behalf of the students, staff, and community. Thank you all very much.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for the important role that you play in bringing all the news to the community from what's going on in high school. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Well, again, appreciate your time. You're more than welcome to stay for the meeting, but if you have other endeavors you'd like to pursue, you may be excused. Okay, it's my understanding there are no requests to comment, so we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the Approval of minutes from the January 13th meeting. May I have a motion?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to the district update. Dr. Campbell.
Since this is our last meeting in January, as Lexi just reminded our community, I also wanted to take this final opportunity to express our appreciation on behalf of the community for each of our outstanding 9 school board members. And I also wanted to thank our Lower Macungie Middle School Student Council. They made special board appreciation Monopoly games for each of our board members. So thank you to our board as well as to our students who have recognized the great work of our school board members. I also want to congratulate our Emmaus High School artists. We have many students who collectively earned 70 awards in the 2025 Scholastic Art Competition. We have students who were winners in the gold, silver, and/or honorable mention categories, and I encourage the community to check out our Emmaus High School website to see the full listing of dozens of student artists who were applauded for their outstanding work. Also from Emmaus High School earlier this month, our EHS Tri-M Music Honor Society hosted a special music collaboration that brought together our middle school and high school musicians for an inspiring collaboration session. So we're very appreciative of the Tri-M Music Honor Society, who again made that opportunity possible for our student musicians here in the district. Again, recognizing the outstanding work of our students at Emmaus High School, just recently, our high school DECA students qualified for the Pennsylvania DECA Career Development Conference. We have students who later in the month of February will compete at the state conference in Hershey. And the students from Emmaus High School who qualified competed against students from 6 counties in our region. So congratulations in particular to the EHS students who placed and qualified for that state competition later in the month of February. We're really proud of Dominic Ruggieri, who will represent us in the area of marketing and entrepreneurship, and Jacob Walter, who will represent us in supply chain management and logistics technology. Dominic was a 6th place winner, and Jacob was a 1st place winner. Congratulations to both of them. And as our student reps pointed out tonight, we are also very proud of our Emmaus High School students who recently competed at the District 11 Skills USA Championship. That was held last Wednesday at Ag Hall in Allentown. The show was able to go on despite a little bit of a delay because of cold and icy weather. Special congratulations to the EHS students who earned 1st and 2nd place honors and will advance on to the next phase in the competition. Special congratulations to Nestle Alacron, again from Emmaus High School, who got 2nd place in culinary arts. Bryn Clark got 1st place in cosmetology. Austin Durr, 2nd place in electrical construction wiring. Jose Figueroa, 1st place in automotive refinishing technology. Brooklyn Hawes, 1st place in early childhood education. James Leap, 1st place in crime scene investigation. Isabella Maruca, 2nd place in first aid CPR, and Zach Osteen, 2nd place in criminal justice. Again, congratulations to them, and we will continue to watch for their performance as they move on in the skills competition. We have a lot of exciting parent evenings coming up in the district. In particular, at Emmaus High School, we're hosting a parent engagement evening. That's planned for Wednesday, February 12th at 6 o'clock in the high school auditorium. We have several rotations or stations in which parents and students are able to participate. We will have a session that offers an opportunity to learn about social media safety and its impact on teens. We will have mental health resources available. And then we will also hear from local business leaders about the skills that employers are looking for when they are hiring for the job market. So again, there are sessions planned that are designed for both parents as well as students on the evening of February 12th, 6 o'clock at the high school. We hope the community considers coming out and taking advantage of that great learning opportunity. I have one more announcement related to the high school because it's a very important one. Any current seniors at Emmaus High School should have received multiple reminders about the fact that this week is the last week to order cap and gown as well as diploma information. And so I encourage families, parents to ask students if they filled out that information so that they are set for graduation this June. A few final announcements for the entire district. Registration is still open for our spring community education program for our senior citizens. We have some awesome classes that we encourage our seniors to check out. If you have some grocery shopping to do this week and you happen to be shopping at Giant, we hope that you'll consider rounding up your check at the local Giant because those rounding up does benefit the East Penn School District. Now through March 31st, you can support the district by rounding up your bill at the register. And finally, you may have noticed on our social media, we have begun advertising or posting and recruiting for vacancies that we know we will have available next school year. We're looking for passionate secondary educators to join our team for the upcoming 25-26 school year. Those specific positions, content areas have been posted, and so we hope that you'll take a look at that information. You can also check out our district website, and all of the information in terms of how you can join the East Penn team is available on our district website. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Ms. Bowman?
Just one comment, maybe it's a question. I'm really happy to hear about the parent engagement night, and I know that was one of the many aspects of the comprehensive plan that we heard about not too long ago. I was curious to hear a little bit about how the topics for that get picked. Like, do we ask parents what they're interested in? I know it's really hard to get them to come out to schools for events. I mean, it's not hard to get them to come out for the musical and things like that. But for things like what you're doing, I've heard from other educators that it's really hard to get parents to come out. So I'm just curious, like, what the thought process is in picking the topics.
Yeah, I will applaud the great work of our high school team in that they, you might recall earlier this year, they actually put out a general survey or call to high school families to say, are there specific topics in which you're interested? And so it was really through that survey mechanism, I believe, that we've asked for feedback. The family engagement series, we found attendance so far this year at the high school has been quite positive. Good. And so as I think hopefully word of mouth, it continues to spread. And again, just asking our families what topics they're interested in hearing.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Dr. Campbell, for your report. Moving on to personnel, I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda.
So moved. Second.
Are there any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to business operations. If there are no objections, I'd like to get a motion to take items A through D together.
So moved. Second.
Okay, are there any questions from the board? I did have one quick question that came to mind earlier today regarding the lease schedule for new Apple devices. I know it's a lease purchase agreement, and I think there's a provision that deals with selling back equipment. Are we actually going to exercise that from the prior contract?
Good evening. Yes, to answer that question, it's an option in the lease. For the current ones that we have, we are looking at both retaining those, supply of those computers, and also looking at working with a third party to sell some of those back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Ms. Klotz.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Dr. Whitney.
Aye.
Ms. Bowman.
Aye.
Mr. Falegi.
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to curriculum, the approval of educational conferences. On item A, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Jankowski.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Ms. Klotz.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Dr. Whitney.
Aye.
Ms. Bowman.
Aye.
Mr. Falegi.
Aye.
Ms. Ford.
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Just make a note under curriculum, item B is a new textbook review, and that is placed there for information only. Moving on to other educational entities, I believe we have a report from CLIU from Dr. Whitney.
No, sorry, not tonight. Our CLIU meeting gets moved in January.
Move that.
Okay,
Have not had it yet.
all right, my apologies.
It's an earlier version of the agenda.
Okay. You are correct. I did print this out sooner. All right, well, look forward to your February report then. Okay, so moving to the only item under other educational entities, which is the LCTI report. I believe Mr. Smith has a report.
Thank you, Dr. Levinson. I have a brief report tonight. The Joint Operating Committee of LCTI met on Wednesday, January 22nd. During the meeting, there were only a few items in the administration's report. The first being that I wanted to welcome you all to a happy competition season. I actually had several updates to our students' performances in the FBLA, DECA, and Skills USA competitions, but we heard all about that earlier in the superintendent's report tonight. The only other administrative item that they shared was a quick update on the corrective action plan that was submitted to the state. You may recall me sharing this earlier. The plan was accepted by PDE, however, most items are already completed or underway. We also heard from the budget office the preliminary budget report, which includes no new staffing and a focus on facilities, capital improvement plans, and an armed security guard. Highlights from the preliminary budget report include an increase in the $1.3 million in the CTE subsidy from the state. Funding is going to be set aside in the budget to address upcoming negotiations. $1.5 million is going to be set aside for capital projects. Fund balance will be drawn down somewhat, and we will be here in East Penn seeing a 5.51 increase to our contribution overall, and a 17.84 increase to East Penn's share of the academic center, which is actually, it's a high increase, but it is actually the third highest increase with, believe it or not, Northwestern Lehigh rounding at the top at over 117% increase for the academic center only. So some increases there, but that's due to enrollment. So that's the purpose for. I mean, it's a good problem to have. When more kids using it, costs go up. So that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Any comments or questions from the board?
I had a question.
Yes, Ms. Ford.
I just wanted to clarify, did you said that there, you had mentioned that there was funding for an armed security officer, was that?
Correct.
Is that a police officer or actually just a security officer?
Just a security officer contracted.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Any additional questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Moving on to announcements, we did hold an executive session this evening where we discussed topics related to confidential matters. Our next regular board meeting will be in 2 weeks on Monday, February 10th at 7:30 in this room. With no further business before the board, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Have a good night.
World record.